let me switch gears a little bit. In 2021, you fought Jaylin Zhang. Yeah. In the third round, you took a couple hard falls.
Yeah.
What did you tell yourself in the moment to make you get back up and even fight harder that ended in majority win? Majority draw.
I train harder than all. So
talk about that. Talk about it.
Nah, I mean like so as heavyweights, I'm the boxing world in general. The guy that's in the best shape, those are usually the guys that win. So when you see guys like for 2 or 3 years go crush and kill everything, then they fall off, it's because they had an injury or something, they couldn't maintain it no more.
Yeah.
So if you know, it's simple math. Zhang Zhang, he's looked the same for 10 years, 15 years, right? So I was injured for 2 years, right? So everybody that see me now, they're like, yo, you're way smaller than what you were like 2 years ago. It's because I was injured.
Okay.
So all I've been doing is training. So some of that fat turned into muscle. I'm a heavyweight.
Yeah.
So if you've been training for 20 years like Tyson Fury, Zaylee Zhang, any of these guys, and you still look the same, that means that your work ethic has not changed. You've been good enough to skate by. And what happens is when we turn pro, they make sure that we have wins sometimes.
Right.
And when you get on that path, then you got to start fighting guys that are just as good. Right. That's why you start seeing these guys and they're like, oh, we ain't as good as we thought he was.
Right.
I've been to Wilder's camp. So like, if you look at him in my old interviews, I only go to Wilder's camp. I'm one of the best left-handers in the world. So like, you take
Welcome to 80
or 80,000.
Are you living for 80 years? Or are you trying to take your impact and your legacy well beyond 80,000 years? Let's find out. Our first guest is an American professional heavyweight boxer known for his southpaw stance. Born in Lafayette, Louisiana in 1988, he's actively boxing since 2012. He holds a professional record of 28 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, and 20 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Wow. He's fought major contenders such as Jaylin Zhang, Michael Hunter, Kubrat Pulev, and Jarrett Jackson. He boasts a 71.43 knockout average. He's a devoted father, he's a husband, and not only he fights in the ring, but he fights for his community. We have none other than living legend, Jerry Slugger Forrest.
Yeah!
Let's hit it, baby. Let's hit it. Woo!
What's up, Jerry? What's going on?
Blessings.
My man, I appreciate you coming through.
Yes, sir. All love.
So listen, Jerry, man, what is going on? I mean, what's up, man? How you been doing lately?
I'm doing well. I'm just chilling, honestly. Raising my kids.
Yeah.
Trying to get things going.
You doing more than chilling. I see the bling bling.
I risk my life for it. That's what I tell you. I risk my life for it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I try to treat myself a little bit. Not a lot, but it's a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna get started. Our first question is: growing up in Newport News, Virginia, the 757. Shout out to the 757.
Shout out.
Tell me a little bit more, or tell me a little bit about your most memorable moment.
Being in 7-5?
Being in the 7-5, growing up in Bad News.
So, my parents moved here a little bit earlier than me, right? So, I would be back and forth from here to Louisiana because I like Louisiana. But like, I can remember coming up here. I came up here first grade.
Okay.
And I can't remember at least ever being in like a 2-story house.
Oh.
So I go from Louisiana, it's like night and day. Like I go from the projects in Louisiana, then I come to Virginia, and like pull up to this townhouse. And I'm just like, where the hell we at?
Okay.
I go into it. So my mom, I'm like, yeah, this is where you live. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I can remember like the next day, me and my little cousin, Tyja, waking up. We went outside and I was like, we opened the door and we were just like, yo. Because we pulled up, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So we opened the door and there was like no trash on the ground. Like, we seen 2-story townhouse. We like, yo, what? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yo, I'm like, yo, we rich. So that was probably the more life-changing moment that I can remember, just growing up, getting out of the car and just sitting like a crib and being like who is this for?
Wow, so you had like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air moment, like basically.
Literally.
It didn't feel real.
My parents came, they got the townhouse and everything, and then they brought me up here, and it was just like,
Yeah.
like, what we get the money for this at? Dad joined the Navy and stuff, so you know.
Wow.
Things I didn't understand back then.
That's dope, man.
That's dope. That's dope. So it was unexpected.
Very much so. It was one of those things where like, so imagine being a kid, you live in the projects basically.
Yeah.
Your parents get married, and then one day they're just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to show you the new home.
Yeah.
And you pull up and like, it ain't what you thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like before then, so put it like this, I can't remember seeing a 2-story house before then. So it's like
You can't remember seeing a 2-story house, period.
ever. So like coming up here and then walking the steps, I'm like, so when we open the door, I'm like,
That's dope.
like who
You
live
running
here?
around and
So
stuff.
like so to this day, when family come from Louisiana, they call our crib a mansion.
Uh-huh.
And it's an all right size. It's like the size of this crib.
Yeah.
But in Louisiana, this is a like I'm talking about for real.
Wow.
So when my cousins come, I gotta tell them like, nah, this is just a nice house, you know, this is a nice house.
Right.
They're like, nah, like this a mess. When we go to Louisiana, they be like, yeah, that's the one that live in a mansion. Like I do not live in a mansion.
So
That is the outlook.
How did your parents keep that from you? Was that a close kept secret? I mean, what?
It was just me being young and not understanding.
Okay.
So it was kind of like me. So they got married in Louisiana before my dad basically went out to sea.
Yeah.
So they bought the house up here and stuff like that, and I was still in Louisiana with my grandmother. So by them coming up here, making all the dealings, doing all the dealings, it was kind of never explained. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was never like, hey, look, you know, we're moving to. So it wasn't explained in the sense of like, we're moving to Virginia. You know, we have a townhouse out there. You know, it's 2 stories.
Right.
It was just like, look, tomorrow you're gonna see where we live at. And then it's like, whatever. Like, whoa,
It hit you hard.
yeah.
Wow.
Because at that time I didn't understand. I didn't understand my dad being in the Navy, none of that. It was just
Jerry, I gotta ask you, man. Where'd you get the name Slugger from, man?
my grandmother. So
Okay.
my mom's mom. A long story short on that, when I was born, I was about to die. So they were about to fly me to like.
Hold on, say that. You said you was about.
Yeah. So what happened is my mom was at the house one day.
Uh-huh.
I had a bowel movement inside my mom, so I poisoned her bloodstream instantly.
Oh my God.
So she told my uncle like, I don't feel good. They took her to the hospital. She was like, nah, about to happen basically. So when they went, they were like, you need like blood transfusions. Like basically, they called my grandmother and my grandmother and grandpa together. But they called them and they were like, if you want to see your daughter, you want to see your grandson before they die, possibly,
Right.
and make it up here.
Wow.
So my grandmother's like, nah, like, they ain't gonna die. They don't be good. So when she gets up there, they're like, you can't go in there. So she waits till she gets in there. So they're about to fly me to New Orleans on a Nightingale. So they're like, say goodbye to him. You know, he's probably not gonna make it like to New Orleans.
That's the helicopter that.
Yeah, Nightingale,
Okay.
yeah. So they were gonna take me from basically Baton Rouge to like a specialist like in New Orleans.
Right.
But they were like, I'm probably not even gonna survive the plane ride.
What?
So as they're telling her to, so how did it go? They're telling her to say goodbye to me, and I guess they're gonna try to they're gonna transport me, and they gotta ride whatever. So she's like, you gotta be a slugger, you gotta fight. All my vitals, click, no lie.
That's great. So you was coming out the womb fighting. Wow. Wow. So how emotionally did your mom ever have a chance to talk to you about how she dealt with that emotionally?
What do you mean, like
Because
trauma from it?
the trauma of losing her baby, about to lose her baby, or at least thinking that was going to a possibility.
Nah. Well, I mean, we talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about it. I mean, she was just scared. She was really just out of it. My mom was it was really my uncle. So my mom didn't even want the blood transfusion.
Yeah.
So like my uncle was like, give him to her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my mom is real, she's like my mom was like a gangster from the wall. Like, she's different. So it's like,
She tough.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, she was like, nah, I don't want none of that good. So my uncle
Yeah.
like, nah, like get the blood transfusion, you gonna die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, that was pretty much her thing, just being hard-headed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the time, she was probably angry if I had her, so knowing how she is. But I mean, she loves me, and I'm great. I'm the only child.
Yeah.
So she looks at it like, sign from God, something from God. You know,
Absolutely.
she's grateful for what happened.
Right.
And I think she embraces the slugger.
Yeah.
Like she was a fighter, but my mom, she, like I said,
Like
she was.
son like mother, right?
Yeah, like so my earliest memories for real in life were like violence, but it's like me fighting like some of my cousins. But like on my Facebook and Instagram, if you're from where we're from, everybody gonna be like, you got it from your mom, because my mom fought a lot of dudes and girls when she was like,
Wow.
she was like that where we're from. Even up here, like on a long story short, Newport News Public Schools, it's like they can't have 10 minutes because of a fight that I had in 06. But in 05. But I'm saying, like, I get that from like, get it from my mom.
You're from your mom.
In a sense, you know what I'm saying? I don't go looking for trouble, but she's always taught me to handle it. So it's like,
So she gave you that strength that you got, that why we call you Slugger.
Yeah, my grandmother named me, and like it carried on through, you know, what I do, how I perceive everything. Is, you know, life is a fight. So I don't know.
So speaking about Slugger, we know about you fighting to get here. We know about, you know, you fighting, you know what I'm saying, in school as a youth. So give us a backdrop on the transition. Who introduced you to boxing?
So my dad was a neighbor recruiter. So he was neighbor recruiter like all 4 years that I was in high school. At my high school. So this dude named Vincent comes into the recruiting station one day.
Okay.
And he's saying he's a boxer. So, like I said, in 12th grade, I was getting into fights. I got into fights in school from these guys bullying these other guys or whatever. I was trying to break it up. So a lot of stuff happened. So my dad was just like, what you want to do? So I've always felt like college was a good and bad thing. So what I told my dad was like, I can make $100,000 rather than you paying $100,000 for education. So my dad's like, yo, I got the GI Bill or whatever. He's like, you ain't got to pay. I'm like, I'm like, you know what, Dad? Long story short, I'm not gonna go to class. Like, I graduated high school, right? I'm like, I know me. So I mean, you if y'all want me to go, I will go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you is, you gonna waste your GI Bill. You might, like, right now he's getting his master's. So I'm like, I tell him all the time, like, now what if you would have wasted on me? Like, I'm boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get your master's, like, you took it for real. So it's like, I'm not gonna waste your money.
Right.
So I kind of started grinding. And he was like, what you want to do with your life, man? And I was like, I want to box. So he's a real dedicated father.
Yeah.
So he found a gym downtown Newport News, 21st and Jefferson, the Moton.
Wow. Say that one more time.
21st and Jefferson, the Moton. Bilal Muhammad. Like
wow.
Yeah, that was the spot. And that's why I'm throwing the events right across the street, because I started at the Moton downtown.
Sometimes it's interesting that you said sometimes, you know, you hear a story where the father doesn't support.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not there, and it really drives a wedge between the relationship. How did that make you feel to know that he did support you?
So it's different. How can I put it? I always quit sports. Like basketball, football. Woodside, winning the state championship with Stephon Washington.
Yeah.
Teams. Like, made the team, I quit them. Football, quit those teams too. I played for Woodside. It just never really, I would get bored. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my dad really, he didn't know I was fighting all the time. So what happened is, like, we would have a fight. I'm talking about, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie like Never Back Down.
Yeah. I seen it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I tell you that it would be like crowds of like 200-300 people watching me, yo, shit used to be crazy.
What?
Yeah. And my dad is the recruiter at my school. He don't know none of this is going on. So in his mind, he don't want to play sports. He always quitting all the sports. Like, he don't want to go to college. He like, what is he gonna do?
What's he gonna do?
Like, he don't know I got gloves. I'm going to different neighborhoods.
Right.
Having, like, the Bloods and the Crips in Newport News, they both wanted me to be on a team.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was.
I grew up in Hampton and partly Newport News. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it's like I was doing all the not bad stuff. It's just like drama kept coming, and I just kept handling business.
How'd you keep that from him?
I mean, I really ain't come home with no scars or nothing, honestly.
Oh, so
like,
so you was the man.
It's so, if it makes sense, honestly. So me growing up in Louisiana,
Yeah.
When I say I grew up fighting, like, me and my cousins, we grew up playing. I mean, like, one of my cousins did taekwondo, so like I can do backflips. So like a dude my size shouldn't be able to run up the wall and do a backflip. I can, but it's only because it's kids who did it.
That's what you did as a kid.
I'm a product of my environment. So like, yeah, that's why I do backflip. I don't know if y'all seen, but at the end of my fight, I like standing no hands because like, that's what I do.
So they gave you an edge. You feel like that was your edge?
It made me, when I came to Virginia, and Virginia is a very tough place. I'm just saying, when I came here, it was just like everything was easy.
Wow.
Like, because in Louisiana, poverty makes everything different.
Right.
And Louisiana is a very impoverished place.
Yeah.
So how I sat in, I never seen a 2-story house.
Right.
I didn't understand what poverty was. When I came to Virginia, it was like
night and day.
Yeah, it was like the gangsters here. I'm like, oh, like y'all can afford to be bad. Wow. Like where I'm at, like where I'm from, like.
Right. So what I hear you say is, you know, they were built differently there.
Yes.
What you
in Louisiana, you have no choice but to be a product of your environment. Like slavery is so ingrained in Louisiana that we were still only a couple of generations removed. So the things that the way that they operate in Louisiana are not of slave times, but it's heavily ingrained in like slave mentality. Slave mentality. You know what I'm saying? There's still plantations in Louisiana where the people can't leave the plantation.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's black people that can't leave. Like they would tell you, my great grandfather like was working this land,
Right.
and he tried to leave and he died.
Well, it's crazy you say that because you realize we only a few generations back from slavery.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I think people forget that too.
But see, so in Louisiana, and that's why I say it's different for me. Like in Louisiana, I got a great grandfather named Cuba when I was younger, so I'm like, I never heard about slavery. I always heard like sharecropping. Yeah. So like my grandmother had a 4th grade education. Her mom didn't go to school at all.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? My grandmother was basically given to my grandfather as a wife at like 16 because there's mad kids in the house. You know what I'm saying? My great grandmother, like she had 7 kids with the shit like the overseer, right? Which had a wife that had 7 kids, right. So you got 14 kids of the white man. So I have my family got, you know what I'm saying? We can't even talk to them. So it's like I seen all of that, and then I come to Virginia, never hearing about slavery, and like things happen like watching Pocahontas. Wow. And I'm like, what? I'm going to the crib, like, mom, like, who the fuck is John Smith?
That's crazy.
So my background is a little similar to yours. I grew up in Los Angeles, and then I came here to Virginia, and so. Growing up in Los Angeles, fighting in Los Angeles, or just, or being involved in the streets in Los Angeles, coming here it made it so much more easier, if I had to deal with those type of situations. So, and I realized that coming here in anything, playing basketball or just my hustler spirit or my hustler mentality, it made me ahead of the game. Just coming from Los Angeles because of what the poverty and the gang structure and the things that are dealing with Los Angeles. So it made it easier. So dealing with that point and dealing with you, was there you touched a little bit about never coming home with scars. Was there a point or a fight or a moment where you said, you know what, I got a gift and this can transition into boxing?
Nah, only because it's crazy. So I went back to Louisiana like a couple years ago. I mean, I go back every couple of months or whatever. Okay. Went back a couple years ago. So all my friends from when I was a kid, this is no lie, yo. They're like, yo, remember when you used to want to say you wanted to be a boxer? And I'm like, nah. Really? Swear to God. And I'm like, they're telling me. I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah, I don't know. They're telling me like, bro, like it's 2 brothers, Bryson Blair. Yeah. Like, y'all know what, shout out to Bryson Blair. Yeah, if you from Louisiana, I know what I'm talking about. So like, yeah, Bryson Blair, like, nah, bro, like, they're like, yo, when you was younger, that's all you talked about. I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, is what I wanted to be. Yeah, but it was like, yo, come in. So basically, when I say violence is my youngest, right? All I remember is fighting. So when they told me that, I'm like, maybe that's why. Right. Like my first memory type shit is like just me fighting with my cousins, you know what I'm saying, over football. I can't remember how old I was, you know what I'm saying?
So you say violence, you grew up in violence. And you experienced that. It almost was like second nature to you. How did that impact your relationship life?
With my wife?
Your wife.
So I still grew up in a household with like family. So it's like, so if it makes sense, it's different types of violence. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? For instance, my cousin Sean, Lil D, they're brothers. Mm-hmm. I can remember me riding a big wheel, Lil D being in front of me on a big bike. Mm-hmm. Long story short, neither one of us moving out the breezeway. Mm-hmm. He hit me or whatever I do, I bite his finger like, damn it, take the meat off his finger. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, say 2 or 3, whatever it's gonna be. He might be 6 or 7, so that's a big age difference. Right. I'm getting business done though. Like, because my mom teaching me, bite, kick, scratch, get a rock. Right. Win the fight. You know what I'm saying? So even if my cousin was like, and then his brother Sean, we get into a fight over my football. But the thing is, like, my grandmother and his grandmother outside, they're sister-in-laws. Right. So they're egging it on like it was going. If you see the movie 300, that's how it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, as kids, it's like, they tussle with us, they wrestle, they play. So, like, even my mom, like, we never really hugged. Like, we played. Like, my mom, to this day, if one of my friends see my mom in the store, she will come up and, like, scare him. Like, she'll grab me and be like, hey, for real. Yeah, that's how she played. Like, she don't play like that. They're not used to that. You know what I'm saying? My boys would be like, yo, your mom crazy, bro. I'm like, nah, she's just her. My dad the same way. So it's like, where we from, you're taught that environment, and like what's normal to me, what I realize is not normal to like is like what's normal to you from LA.
Yeah,
It's not normal
right.
to the people. So what I learned to normalize probably as like a real young child,
Right.
probably wasn't normal to a lot of people.
Wow.
Like I'm getting kicked out of Dutro, which is where I went to elementary school, because I'm doing the roundhouse kick on the kid. Because I seen him bullying the kid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You kick. What happened to the kid?
I think that's like the first time I got in trouble too. Well, I don't know what happened. Like, so where I'm from is like, I'm sorry, I really see animals. So like, if I see you bullying the kid and I know you ain't an animal, like I'm gonna defend him.
Yeah.
So kid was in like 5th grade. I'm in 1st grade. Like he goes to all I know, he went to the gym with a bloody nose. Like I'm watching the karate movies too, granted. So you know, I run house, kicked him, and like I think I uppercut him or whatever. So he run to the teacher.
Yeah.
In my mind, like, good job. That was my first time going to the principal's office.
Yeah.
I'm like, because in Louisiana, it's like shit happens like that.
So you did a roundhouse kick. You knocked him out.
I try to be like in the movies. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that shit's so good. Like he's standing in the, so you know what I'm saying, other kid, and I'm right here. He like slapped the kid back here. I'm like, and just like I guess 3 ninjas or whatever, kick back. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is my moment.
So I gotta ask you, are you a Bruce Lee fan?
I love martial arts in general.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I do backflip. Like I do no hand crawl. Like I love the martial arts.
Okay.
In general. Yeah.
So at some point, you know, transitioning to Newport News, did you ever feel like coming to a new community? Did you ever feel like you had to prove to yourself that you was tougher than everybody else?
Nah, honestly. So the way that I play, I've always been called tougher. So as a kid, I'm doing backflips. So while I'm out here, I'm doing backflips off the monkey bars. Like ain't nobody else doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
They probably look running from you.
Yeah. So it's like as a kid, it's kind of like I've always felt like I was like that. To be honest, and that's why I got into trouble in the sense of I've never been suspended but one time. But I had a lot of fights, and it's because it's like I'm the charismatic kid, but I'm tough.
Yeah.
So it's like if I catch the ball over you, like not a pretty boy, but I catch the ball and I'm going to talk to the girls. Guys don't like that. So dudes would be like, "Hey, yo, you a bitch, yo." So I'm the type, I'm not an arguer. So I'm just like, cut to the point. You can't beat me.
No talk. Let's get to
We're
it.
playing on the basketball court. Listen, we're playing. It could be one of my homeboys. It's fine. You can't beat me. Usually everybody, either you gonna shut up or put up. I never had the whole we going back and forth.
Now, with that mentality, did you find yourself with more friends or enemies?
I'm friendly to everybody, or you gonna respect me. It's just one of the two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no in between.
I'm friendly. You gonna respect me.
Right.
I mean, I'm not arrogant. It's like I don't disrespect anybody. Even if I don't like you, I'm gonna respect you and know how to deal with you.
Right.
So if I can do it, anybody can. You know what I'm saying? So like I have never went around looking for trouble. My mother, you never go to anyone's house looking for trouble. You don't start trouble. So I've never started a fight and looked for it. But I have always tried to either defend somebody or I'm gonna stop the person. I'm a bully that bullies, and that's the only time. If I know you're a person that picks on people because they're weak, I'm going to make you hate me. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my best friends or the people that were bullies in school.
So you're a bully's bully.
Like, and that's the only person I'm gonna bully.
That sounds like Kendrick Lamar to me.
That's dope.
Like, if you pick on people, I'm going to pick on you because I'm gonna show you that I'm more than you are. Like it's just gonna happen. It's not being cocky.
I love it though.
Because I try to respect everybody, so I don't like people that prey on the weak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And like, if you're a noble person, you ain't gonna let nobody just. So my homeboys, I see my homeboys took it back and give it back to them.
Yeah.
Because that's now, if they would have fought you for it, that's different. You took that because that man ain't gonna fight you, or you took that because it's 3 of y'all and there's 1 of them.
So it sounds like to me, you are really, don't mess with me. I'm here to protect people. I stand for something, but I'm gonna let you know, don't cross that line.
Yeah, I'm never looking for trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't have altercations because if you meet me or you know me, talk to me, you clearly see that like that ain't where we're going.
Right.
We can probably come to a justification or whatever. We got some differences. So I mean, I don't really have people that don't like. I was actually talking to one of the guys from the LB, the local boxing commission, and like he said, is people. It's not that they dislike me, and not necessarily that they like me, but they respect me. And because I'm a respectable person, I don't really have a lot of issues.
There you go.
You know,
Respect goes a long way too.
You know what I mean? So I don't really try to like make people fear me. But if you talk to me and like you know about business, if you see what I'm saying, I'm keeping my word, then it's pretty clear like what I expect.
Yeah.
From whatever we're doing. And that's that's kinda I just stand on it.
That's
I try
dope.
to.
That's dope.
So yesterday we celebrated a big birthday. Shout out to the great Muhammad Ali.
Shout out.
It was his birthday. Happy heavenly birthday.
Happy birthday.
Muhammad Ali. He's notably called the greatest heavyweight of all time. You're a heavyweight, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you got your Muhammad Ali's, you got your Mike Tyson's, you have your Floyd Mayweather's, you have your Sugar Ray Leonard's. Out of all the boxing legends, who inspired you the most?
Ooh.
Man.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, well, see, I like old school fighters.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Talk about it.
Joe Lewis, talk about it.
So, all right, so boom. So if I say, so Sam Langford is somebody y'all don't know who he is.
Sam Langford.
So-
I know exactly who that is. Yeah.
So he was like the most duck person in his time, though. And like the thing is, like Joe Lewis was great. I love Joe Lewis too.
Yeah.
But Joe Lewis was like, he was the right fighter at the right time. Where like Sam Langford fought everybody, all the number one guys that were black and white. Most of the time he was cheated. You know what I'm saying? Most of the guys he beat, knocked out or stopped. So when you talk about like one of the greatest,
Yes.
people that really know boxing, they usually put Sam Langford at the top or Sugar Ray Robinson, one of them kind of guys because of their record. So it's like a guy like Sam Langford, if you look at the history of boxing, he beat all the black guys and all the white guys that were number one. And I'm talking about he fought some of these guys 2 or 3, 4 times with no boo. And he'll beat them every time.
They beat him.
Every single time. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would cheat him sometimes, but like he could never get a shot because there was only never one black fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So him, Jersey Joe Walcott, man, you know, guys like that. You know, Archie Moore, that's like one of my favorites.
Archie Moore, yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
I like them kind of guys, you know what I'm saying?
What do you pull from them when you think about those greats that you study? Anything you take out for yourself?
Yeah, they made themselves indispensable. Like Jack Johnson, you know what I'm saying, going through interracial lines with white women. It's 1910. Like, you couldn't do that nowhere in the world. At least that's what we told in America.
Right.
Of course, in other countries, what's here didn't exist there. But I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? When you're heavyweight champion of the world, things don't matter. So, like, people miss out on those important parts of history. Like, black and white, it's nothing about color. It's about distinction of who you are and what you got. So when you're Jack Johnson, heavyweight champion of the world, the thing that I take from it, I tell my kids this all the time, he made himself indispensable. And when you make yourself indispensable, here we are.
Bars.
Wow.
Woo.
You can give someone, you can get stopped by a cop, give that white cop $50, like they say, and give him another 50. And this is 1910, 1912, I think. And tell the cop the other 50 is because he's gonna come back speeding the same way. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what boxing did for me. It showed me that like, once you become indispensable, once you have that kind of equality past the color, you now like, you know, you're elevated to a certain class.
Wow.
So indispensability, you know, that's
Indispensability.
that's what I
love it.
That's
preach to
dope.
my kids
That's
all the
dope.
time.
That's real dope.
Let me switch gears a little bit. In 2021, you fought Jaylin Zhang.
Yeah.
In the third round, you took a couple hard falls.
Yeah.
What did you tell yourself in the moment to make you get back up and even fight harder that ended in a majority win? Majority draw.
I train harder than all of them. So
Talk about that. Talk about it.
I mean, like, so as heavyweights, I'm the boxing world in general, the guy that's in the best shape, those are usually the guys that win. So when you see guys like for 2 or 3 years go crush and kill everything, then they fall off, it's because they had an injury or something, they couldn't maintain it no more.
Yeah.
So if you know, it's simple math. Zhang Zheli, he's looked the same for 10 years, 15 years, right? So I was injured for 2 years, right? So everybody that see me now, they're like, yo, you're way smaller than what you were like 2 years ago. It's because I was injured.
Okay.
So all I've been doing is training. So some of that fat turned into muscle. I'm a heavyweight.
Yeah.
So if you've been training for 20 years like Tyson Fury, Zheli, Zhang, any of these guys, and you still look the same, that means that your work ethic has not changed. You've been good enough to skate by. And what happens is when we turn pro, they make sure that we have wins sometimes.
Right.
And when you get on that path, then you got to start fighting guys that are just as good.
Right.
That's why you start seeing these guys and they're like, oh, we ain't as good as we thought he was.
Right.
I've been to Wilder's camp. So like, if you look at any of my old interviews, I only go to Wilder's camp. I'm one of the best left-handers in the world. So like, you take me to Wilder camp,
Yeah.
it's only gonna be like 2 or 3 rounds.
You a southpaw dog?
Yeah, I'm one of the top heavyweight. Well, top
Southpaw stance.
So like I've been to all the camps when you get a heavyweight. So it's like I seen all of the champions and how lack thereof in training. And then I go back to look at guys like Ali. The difference between a guy like Ali and Foreman was a lazy heavyweight.
Really?
Styles make fights. You know what I'm saying? So a guy like Zhilei Zhang, if you look at the whole fight, I think it's a 4th and 5th round. My corner, you hear my corner say, we got him where we want him at. You know what I'm saying? So I've been knocked down. I was knocked down the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. So I'm the only heavyweight, what you're referring to. I'm the only heavyweight to come back and win the rest of the fight in heavyweight history. That's what.
I mean, when I watched it, it captivated me because it kind of made me think about life in general.
Life is a fight.
Life is a fight. You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. I was amazed to see that you fell down, but you got back up like you never fell down. I mean, what was that like? I mean, it was, the energy was captivating.
I trained so hard for the fight. Like they don't train as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like knowing what was so. I'm on the B side, which means I'm supposed to lose. That's the first thing. So secondly, I have to knock him out to get the win. Automatic. He was in line to fight Anthony Joshua. Mm-hmm. So this was the fight where basically whoever won that fight would have fought AJ back then. So he had a lot right on it. I had a lot right on it. Mm-hmm. I just knew from watching the footage from him, just how he moved mechanically.
Right.
That they're not willing to output what I put in.
Right.
When I look at how I train, and I've been to all these championship camps, and I look at what they do inside the ring, outside of the ring, I know my habits are different. You know what I'm saying? I know I go to sleep early. Yeah. I know I don't go to clubs. I know I don't drink. I know I don't smoke. I know I don't party all night. So things that I know that I don't do that separate me from them guys when I go to their camps, I see it. Right. And it's like, okay. How did Cat Williams say it? It's the club. You know what I'm saying? Right. They protect that club. So the promoters, they protect them guys. So they make sure that all the fights, these short notice fights, or you can't get in shape, so they're in shape. So that's how it happens. So when you really can find a guy like me that's always in shape, I always get problems. Well, that's pretty much how I knew it was going to start and end. Mm-hmm. But how can I put this? If you know a man can only take so much of who you are, I know I got power. Right. Then I know eventually I'm going to wear you down. So I put him in the hospital for 2 weeks after the fight. But but he's an Olympic. So we trained our ass off because we know I got to keep going to the body. Right. I got to keep on going to the body. I got to keep on. So if it makes sense, man, you drop somebody like that and they done ran mile after mile. Yeah. Like, bro, I'm waking up, 5 o'clock in the morning, eating, ran an hour on the treadmill, doing a 30-minute formers walk, fully elevated, going back to bed. I'm waking up at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Taking a swim. Going back to bed, waking up at 12 again, running for an hour, 30-minute walk again, going to the gym at 4:30, pad work, conditioning, spar, whatever it is that day, going back to the hotel at 9 o'clock. And this is staying in the hotel for 3 months too. Right. Eating steak, eating potatoes, eating string beans or whatever I got, dog. And like doing it all over. Well, 9 o'clock, I do the hour run again. And like by 12, we just sleep, unless we do pad work. But like all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that was all for the fight. You sound like my sister-in-law, Nikki, because she same thing. She's running, she's up, she come here on vacation and she was like, well, I mean a little bit, but now I got to go back to my steak and potatoes and my vegetables. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of mental endurance for that. So when you think about people, especially in the sports industry, think about Zion Williamson, great talent. Can you take your talent for granted? Is that possible? Well, it's not the talent, it's the lifestyle. Okay. So for instance, boxing the lifestyle. So if it makes sense, the Kobe Bryant effect, how Kobe says he would train at 5 o'clock in the morning, then get to the gym at 7. Right. So he's already got him by like 2 hours. Yeah. Right. So if it makes sense, I'll tell you a secret about boxing. It'll make complete sense to y'all. When you hear us and we can't be beat, right? Terrence Crawford right now can't be beat. Yeah. He didn't stop training for 5 years. 6 years. That's what people don't realize. So in order to beat Terrence Crawford, you got to be in the gym for 5 years. Oh, like you know what I'm saying? It's a 24/7. So that's what your daughter-in-law, your sister-in-law is talking about. If I look around and take a month off, what if he ain't took a month off for 2 years? Ooh, you know what I'm saying? Set you back.
Wow.
So that's how you got to look
big.
at it. You know what I mean? Boxing is 24/7.
24/7.
So that's why I say, even on an injury, I got smaller. Because let me mess around and not work out for 2 years. That's crazy. That would be crazy.
Right.
Then I got to come back 2 years and then try to. No, that's too much. You'll never catch me. Never catch them. So that's why I run in the rain. Like rain days, you got to take advantage of.
You said rain days?
Got to.
What's that? Tell me about that.
Because you ain't going to run in the rain. Not saying you, but I'm just saying you ain't going to run in the rain.
I probably.
Yeah,
Most people not. Yeah. So it's like,
If you run.
so it's not like, so look at it like this. Like, if it rained for 30 days in a year, right? And we all got access to gyms or whatever, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if it rained for 30 days in the year, you might not want to go to the gym on none of them days that you off on the weekend. So just say out of them 30 days, 20 of them days on the weekend. So them 20 days that you kicked it, that's 20 days I ran either on the treadmill inside somewhere, or it's 20 days that I ran outside.
Y'all hear this?
Man.
So if it's raining,
Bars.
don't get me wrong. If it's raining crazy, I ain't running. But like if it's just raining, I'm gonna go get a run because I know you ain't gonna do it. And then on the rainy day, on a Saturday when it's just raining, everybody chilling.
Yeah.
My wife hated it because I'm going to the gym because there's one more day that you ain't.
I gotta ask you, was the movie Rocky? Was that realistic? Is that movie realistic?
Yeah,
It is. Okay.
that movie. That's actually the story. That's actually the story of Ali. Like, so Creed, Ali. If it the synopsis is Ali was the greater figure for color. So you couldn't beat him, so you created a movie to outshine the champion.
Wow.
If you go back, they got a joint with him and Sylvester Stallone where Ali said it, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, you know, you couldn't beat me, so you
created somebody who could beat me.
I mean, Ali was a good fighter. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
The story is Ali lost one of his fights, or he should have lost it, and that's when the movie Rocky. So basically, they talked to the guy that fought Ali, and that's how the story is told.
That's how
they took the story and they, you know. But yeah, Apollo Creed is actually Rocky. I mean, Apollo Creed is actually Ali, though.
Ali, yeah, that's good stuff. So you not only fight in the ring, but you fight in the community as well.
Yeah.
On January 4th this year, you held an event called Gloves on the Coast. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I'm at the Boys and Girls Club here in Newport News, Virginia.
Nice.
Tell me a little bit about this event, or tell the world about this event, and what has it personally meant to you?
So Gloves on the Coast is something that my boy Spirit hit me up and was like, you know what I'm saying, let's do some boxing stuff again. You know, just get it going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, you know, the Olympics are coming in 2028. You know, they're coming to LA. And Keyshawn just went to Olympics. He won the silver medal. There's a lot of talent in 7'5". We don't have a sports team. So, excuse me, my thought is to like, maybe we can create a culture with boxing. And then if we can create a culture with boxing and help some of these kids get to the Olympics also, it's going to be a plus deal.
Right.
So years ago, I started a LLC, which is High Minded Boxing Club.
Okay.
And that's just, you know, collective group of people that think like you know,
Right.
together to, you know, build something. And that's always been my dream with the boxing deal, was to kind of spread it out, make myself valuable to the community,
Right.
throw some fights, get some gigs in the Olympics. So just doing city works. Some of the people in the city, the mayor, vice mayor, and some of the people in the cabinets, they just kept talking to me about boxing. So I had some meetings with him. I sat down with him. I talked to him, and it was a couple of no's at first, in the sense of I never started nothing in the city because I never wanted to let the kids know.
Yeah.
So I'm not here a lot.
Right.
So my thing was start a program. I told the kids to be here. I got to take a fight. I'm going for 3 months. That doesn't do anything for the kid.
Right.
Right. Granted, it's cool they can watch me on TV.
Right.
But kids don't really understand, hey, I'm not coming back for 3 months, period,
Right.
point blank in the discussion. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It's cool to watch me on TV, but it's like,
Yeah.
So I never wanted to do that. So now, just talking to some of the people in the city, man, they kind of motivated me to really put my foot forward. So called my boys up, called the boxing commission, was like, hey, let's start this little deal. We're gonna try to get some of the kids to the Olympics. So I put my own money in real fast and just start throwing these events. And from there, we just started talking to the city, started talking to the boys club, and now hopefully it turns into something a lot more, you know.
Man,
Wow, for the
that
kids.
is that is
Yeah,
exciting.
It's just something. We don't have a lot of fights in the 7'5", so it's just kind of like, it's not expensive to throw them, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the deal I kind of told my wife was if I could put out basically like $2,500 to $3,000 and I can make it back, can I keep doing it? And she was like, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I did on the first one. So I plan to just rock now, and we're going to expand, make it bigger, make it better. I mean, I want the kids to start coming out like they're pros. That's the goal. Baltimore, Philadelphia, I see how they operate. I see how they move. So like how your sister-in-law is. Yeah. It's a whole different atmosphere out there with amateurs. So it's like, if I could have the lights dim, have these kids walking out in costumes, that's my goal. Then they turn pro, they got a fan base already. They can fight a Coliseum, they ain't got to go nowhere. 10,000 seats, you make $100,000, $200,000, you get to go home, you know. So, yeah.
This is great because there's a stigma or there's some type of a stereotype that people who make it don't give back.
Right.
So you're listening right now to, you know, and let me just break it right now. Allen Iverson gives back. Michael Vick gives
Absolutely.
All these people, it may not get televised or broadcast, but these people give back, and this is a testimony as well.
I mean, we throw the fights on the Allen Iverson basketball court at the boys' club.
Oh my God!
I said that's the court that it's on. You know, Allen Iverson donated that court. That's one reason why I throw it.
Shout out to Allen Iverson.
Yeah, big shout out to AM. Shout out to AM to the club for sure.
So with the work you do in the community, and when you think about some kids don't come up with a father, come up with a mother, how do you see yourself in those kids' eyes?
So we're mentors. The one thing that makes us different from all of the sports, if you play basketball, whatever, you ain't gotta look your coach in the eyes. Like when we do pad work, even on a personal level, it's an emotional attachment. So we're looking these kids in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing pad work, we can see the gestures.
Right.
We can say when they like something, don't like something. We get used to seeing faces all day.
Yeah.
For real. So by us looking in the eyes all day long, we get to see eyes and we can tell expression. We can tell the feelings of kids. So for me, it's an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
Football, you throw that helmet on, you might not see that kid for a week eye-wise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just, handle business.
Yeah.
If he ain't causing no problems, ain't no need to say nothing but good job. You know what I'm saying? Hey, handle this, do that, and he back on the field. With boxing, we holding pads. We looking him in the eyes, he looking us in the eyes. He's hitting the bag, we looking at him, making sure he's focused. My coach will tell me, look me in my, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have to do this. So kids, when you demand to look you in your eyes, you teach them to talk different. You know what I'm saying? You see their truths.
Yeah.
And you ask them what's going on. And the stronger they build, the more they build, the more life becomes a fight. You know what I'm saying? The more they kind of equate life to the boxing ring. Yeah. And when you start winning them over, it open up to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a mentor or a father figure deal. I mean, it's a family orientation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's family strengthening the safety program. I would say, man, we're just special. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense, man, your kid got to trust that I'm not going to let him get brain damage. Like, these are things we got to explain to him. Right? So, I mean, if it really makes sense, your child, like, excluding the parent, that child has to fully trust that adult to tell him what to do to defend himself, if that makes sense. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the level that it's on. Yeah. It goes beyond mentorship. Like, it's like football. That's like me getting a kid, you getting a kid, and we saying, look, I taught my kid how to run the check at full speed, and they gonna do it, and my son gonna have better form, so he gonna knock your son out. Right. That's what that's the equivalency of it. You know what I'm saying? So that kid, more so than the parent or anybody else, gotta know that you were telling him the right thing to defend himself on the point system, of course, not trying to knock nobody out on the point system, but to come out with that win. You know what I'm saying? That it plays some mental stuff with these guys. They have to trust you fully.
Well, you teaching responsibility. You're giving them confidence. You're giving them another way out from the streets.
Definitely.
More importantly, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to be a boxer. So what's that conversation like when it comes to kids and the things that they want to accomplish? And does it mean that they go boxing route, or does it give them confidence to do whatever they want to do in life?
You do what you want to do.
There you go.
Boxing is a lifestyle. Seeing you and all of it, a lot of stuff that's been developed in this city is a very good developer. That developer has boxed his whole life. Great for him. Matter of fact, working this deal with the Boys and Girls Club, that's one of the first donors they said, because that's what he do. But what I'm saying is he attracts everything that he does in life through boxing. He ain't never had a pro fight. couple amateur fights. He's always training like a fighter. 60, 70-year-old man now, still works out. Still, he'll call me. I ran 5 miles. You crazy. And he owns a lot of stuff out here.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is everything that's driven through him is through boxing. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be a boxer, but you can take what you take out of boxing and you let that carry you on.
There you go.
Whether it's the habits of waking up early, you know, having the discipline to know to eat healthy so you can be a better person for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Learning about injury. I tell people that not just work out and train. You're no good to myself or you or anyone in your family if you're injured.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people have to know the limit. You got to teach them self-confidence because even if I'm pushing you to the limit to hurt you, because I'm thinking I'm training you hard, you got to have the confidence to know, even though you trust me with your life, you're going to tell me no. So I even as an adult, I had to learn that. I got to go into the gym sometimes and say, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Because I know myself better than you. You can tell me all day that you love me.
Right.
You can't tell me you love me more than I love myself.
There you go.
So those are the things that, you know what I'm saying, boxing transcends. You know what I'm saying? It teaches you responsibility, but reliability also.
Right.
Because if you carrying something out with me in the ring, you calling it, and I ain't in shape to do it, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's the on me part. You telling me everything to do, you're trying to coach me through it. I can't carry it out. So it teaches a lot of accountability as far as responsibility, though.
What stood out to me, what you said, was self-love.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Let's switch gears a little bit. Last decade has really changed a lot when it comes to boxing, how to promote fights, how to put things out there. Mike Tyson recently fought Jake Paul on November 15th at the AT&T Center in Arlington, Texas. Do you think the criticism that they received, do you think that was fair?
At some levels, boxing is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So
Talk about it.
People live through the fantasy.
Okay.
That's the old Mike Tyson. Like,
facts, man. I was like,
Facts.
man, you gotta realize that.
I didn't even watch the fight.
Really?
Because boxing is entertainment. That's one thing that people have to realize. Anything can be sold. Now I know I'm gonna sound biased when I say this, but like people like Tyson, they knew how to do it. They were taught how to do it.
Yeah.
So like Tyson knows how to sell a fight. He always has. So when you're really good at entertaining, you can always entertain and make it very bad. So like when I see it personally, I just don't. Like it's if it makes sense, a lot of these fighters, they're only good because it's social programming.
Talk more about that.
If I put $1 million into any one of y'all and say, look, this is a guy that ain't never did it, he's smoking, he crazy. I could put flyers all up in the 7x7 and make anybody believe that one of y'all could really do it because they don't know nobody. That's how it is with boxing. I mean, it's just the truth.
No.
So like, guys like Tyson, he knew how to manipulate you to the point where you were defeated before he fought you. He says that
mentally
a lot.
Facts. Yeah.
That's
Facts. Yeah.
That's because he couldn't beat him. Because the thing is, if you could box, Mike Tyson can't beat you. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We learned that with Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks was a great fighter, but going into that fight, Mike Tyson had already won because he just intimidated. He took away Michael Spinks' complete brain.
So, and I'm not saying Mike won't good himself.
No. He's definitely good.
But he attacked from a different angle.
Yeah.
He knew how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like what made him so good is he defeated you before the ring. And that made a fighter like him that was not a great, say, boxer, but a very explosive fighter with power.
Right.
Easy to manipulate. Yeah. And you get hit, you go sit down, you ain't get back up. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Did that take anything away from his legacy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a fan of Mike, he fought so long ago, honestly. It's like, my kids ain't never seen him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, for them, that's like me asking somebody better. It's like me asking a guy, Dr. J. You get what I'm saying? Is Jordan better?
Right.
Can't tell somebody from Jordan, you know what I'm saying, Dr. J's legacy that Jordan is the man. Can't tell somebody from Jordan that LeBron is better. Right. And when somebody comes after LeBron, we ain't gonna be that LeBron ain't better than that guy. So it's generation.
So Mike Tyson always gonna be Mike Tyson. Either way.
I think The thing with Mike Tyson is it's going to just always be opinionated. Is he a good fighter? Is he not a good fighter?
Got it.
Could he knock out? Well, I mean, so it's just with him, he's more of a mystery than anything.
Yeah.
But the fact is he made a lot of money. He dominated. He got a lot of knockouts.
Yeah.
However he did it, he knew how to do it. And I know by him knowing how to entertain, what words to say, it makes for good entertainment. Jake Paul's an entertainer too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it made for a good fight. I watched the highlights, but nah, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of stipulations.
So you're right. So Mike Tyson, certain generations now don't know who Mike Tyson is. But was this a way of reinventing himself to make himself relevant now?
Very much so.
Okay.
So there's no athlete that's made more money in their sport than out of their sport. So that's what we are. You know what I'm saying? Guys retire early, basketball, football players now. It's because you make money, then you know how to make it grow. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting myself up for the future with what I'm doing here. You know what I'm saying? It's all about legacy building and set yourself up for the future. Back in the day, athletes just played the sport. You ain't doing that no more. Like, for real. Like the whole synopsis that's like, we gotta be better than white people. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do what they do. We gotta be just as smart.
Right.
Yo, Martin Luther King had a doctor, bro. Like, you can't. No, I'm not believing that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we've always been winning. Now we're just finally catching on to like, we've been doing this. Now we just gotta get smarter with our money.
You gotta get smarter.
Yes, and my dad be on it. I had an outhouse. Listen. Jack Johnson didn't. And it was 1910. So you can't tell me like that means that where you was at, it was just an unfortunate time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I feel like the black economic structure in general has shifted, and sports is paying attention to that.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it now, like we can see it on TV, you know what I'm saying? You can hear podcasts. So I think now we know once we make this $10, $15 million and we invest in something, it's like, oh, I ain't got to do this no more.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now we're realizing we can do it until we're done liking it.
Right.
Back in the day, they had to do it until they fell out of love with it, and you still dragging it for 3 or 4 years because you need the money.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, I like this show, I'm cool. I played 5, 6 years in the NFL, NBA. I liked it. Now I'm about to do what I want to do the rest of my life.
Right.
Working.
That's dope.
Like, that's
dope.
You know what I'm saying? It's sensible. Why not? Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm on. That's what everybody's on now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm in the city so much, moving around. Got to make it work for you.
Down.
Have fun and relax.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna ask you a 2-part question. And you had a weigh-in, and you wore mismatched socks. All right.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, you made it known that since you did that, you started getting as many knockouts as you needed to. So let me ask you a question: who in fashion? Because every time I see you, you dope. You look dope. So you know what I'm saying. So pause. But you always look dope. So who has influenced you in fashion? And man, are you superstitious a little bit, man?
So I'm from Louisiana. So I don't believe it. I believe that superstitions have always proven wrong. And it's always your opinion.
Okay.
And the only reason why is I always say, like, money don't buy happiness. All the wealthy people I know, great people, good people. And then like beauty's on the skin deep, shit like that.
Yeah.
Big girls that's super mean and know a lot of skin, but that's super nice. So it's like people have made up things under their own opinions. Like my grandmother would be like, and this is what I mean by what I know now. My grandmother would beat our ass if we swept on her feet with a broom.
Okay.
You going to jail.
Yeah.
That was true back in the early 1900s when a black person would sweep on a white person's foot.
Wow.
It's no longer true.
Right.
So my grandmother and everybody in the projects is like, don't sweep, and like you sweep on their feet, you gotta spit on the broom. Like that's old slavery mentality just handed down. So just knowing that kind of stuff is like, I'm not superstitious. I'm more, I guess you could say spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm a new electrician by trade. So I mean, I like science and engineering and history and stuff. So I mean, I understand vibrations and like living things, organisms, atoms. So with that, I understand the influence of speaking, but I also understand the manifestation.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know how it works, but the only reason why manifestation works is because like molecules, like atoms, right? They all are living. So just for instance, it's just This is living. So the water inside, all that's molecules. So the gas is made, all of this is living, is just here.
Right.
So like when I guess a guy can't start his car up, then he like, start, you know what I'm saying? And it starts up.
Right.
I'm only saying that's a manifestation. Like you're speaking to live molecules.
Yeah.
So when you think of someone and they call you,
Yeah.
it's because that's how reaction works. That's vibration.
Right.
That's what vibes are. Good vibes.
Right.
You get a vibe.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's vibration. So your heart pumps electricity. Vibrations come from electricity, pump from the heart.
Talk that
So
talk.
it's molecules.
Talk it.
So it's, you know what I'm saying? So with knowing just what I know from science, the shit goes in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a broad aspect, yo.
It's funny because I always tell my daughter, she come to school and she say, I can't do this, or this is too hard.
Mhm.
You say whatever you say you can't do,
you put it into the
you
atmosphere already.
you put it in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Speak true, speak positivity, and like you said, it manifests itself.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yes.
Easy work. It's easy work.
So with all the kids, you know, all the violence you think about in, you know, sports, entertainment, right here in Newport News, the kids dying from gun violence, you know, have we at some point failed our children?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that.
Well, man, I tell parents all the time, we're good parents. But we do a couple things wrong right now. As parents, one, we normalize things that we didn't do in high school.
Mm.
So, and I'm just being honest. So even right now in the city, I see a lot of kids not to their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, you won't even like that in high school.
Mm.
And there's no offense to it. It's just like I know you from school.
Right.
So like, even as a father, you can tell your son, hey, I was smacking everybody up. I was this, I was that.
Right.
That's a manipulating story. You can't do that to your kids.
Right.
Because that ain't what you did.
Right.
So what happens is I see these people sometimes, and it's like, they got the like, if I see a kid with Balenciagas on, gold teeth, crazy, usually in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
your parents didn't fail you. They did a great job. They provided for you, of course, but they didn't probably lie to you. Because what happens is we try to live through our kids in high school.
Mm.
Like my kids, for instance, all my kids' friends think I'm cool. My kids don't make me
Mm.
because you're my kid.
Right.
And I don't have to try to be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So the things that like my friends do with their kids, I don't do with my kids. And I explain to my kids, I don't have to. Well, like my kids will get mad, like they hate. I'm like, I don't have to try to be your homeboy. Like I don't have to try to be cool. That's not
I ain't your best friend.
They be like, hey, yo, such and such people. Like, I'm not trying to look cool to y'all. Y'all are kids. Like, what do I look like trying to look cool to y'all? And I tell them straight up, like, because some of my friends, they like, nah.
Yeah.
What? Like, nah. So I feel like we influence our kids in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because we give them these false narratives of what we were when we were young.
Right.
And it's not the truth.
Yeah.
And even if it is the truth, I feel that we should start manipulating the story to where it looks positive.
Right.
All the gang banging, all of this stuff is drill music, and it's us telling our kids, yeah, man, if that was me, boy,
Right.
I would have slept, because we're trying to show up for our kids.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So we hear these stories and we fantasize about,
Right.
oh, yeah, my mom, my dad was, you know what I'm saying, my mom looked good in school and she was the most popular. Sometimes that's not the case.
Right. Right.
And we lie to these kids and we manipulate them. They carry that same mantra
yeah.
at school.
Oh yeah.
So
Man.
that's where I say we do a good job because we fund these kids.
Right.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying, they go buy a gun because we give them money. And then they heard you say you was a dope boy and you was doing all, whole time you was in the Navy retired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your son got $800, now he bought a gun. And now they both pointing guns at each other.
Yeah.
Both of them scared, so they just shooting in the air, and somebody gets shot.
Yeah.
That's just how it happens all the time in Newport News, Hampton.
Yeah.
No, like that's what we see.
Well, they die before they really get an opportunity to experiment what life really is.
Because it's what the experiment's going wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a gun because you got to realize, back in the day, one person had a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you go to a high school basketball game, it's 5 guns in the
That's
car.
crazy.
You got to realize they ain't stealing them.
No.
You buy them.
Yeah.
Come on now, talk
Like,
about it.
you-
Talk about it.
When the influencer kids now, they're taking $800 again and they gonna buy a gun.
Yeah.
That's why everybody got one.
Mm.
So and what I mean by the drill becomes real is like, ain't nobody really trying to shoot. We walking around with the guns because we see it in the video.
Right.
That's what's up. But it turns real because now somebody done pulled a gun. So now out of fear, we did all drill.
Mm.
That's why you see where it's like 13 on 13.
Right.
most of the time you're scared. They scared, you scared. Everybody pull out to defend themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you pull out, now it's real.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pull out, now it's real too.
Mm-hmm.
And now we just shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Ain't nobody, that's why these kids be crying in court. Ain't nobody meaning to be no good man.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
For real.
Talk
You know
about
what I'm saying?
it.
It's crazy.
It's defense.
I had a first cousin that he died. He was star quarterback at Phoebus High School, Jamel Dennis. And he got shot right after one of his best games. And I think he had like $2 and maybe 30 cents in his pocket. What do we need to change?
The mantra of we gotta take. See, as a community,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying with boxing. You gotta build these kids up to where they want to go out and work. They want to be a valuable person in society.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be a better person. So I pride myself on not being who I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of the flips for me again is like me being in Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
seeing my cousins, and then coming up here, like I said, learning about the DARE program.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching New Jack City as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I go outside and my cousins is New Jack City. I can think them guys. You know what I'm saying? I come up here.
That's real.
I see the DARE program and they like, yo, we locking up all these cats. As a child, I didn't realize like my cousins going to jail.
Yeah.
So I got cousins and stuff and like felt like they was like considered real bad people.
Mm-hmm.
But you even to this day, you can't tell me they were bad because they come and they give me $2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of learned to be like a handsome monster, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? Like you from an area, you see certain things, and this ain't that.
Right.
So it ain't no need to be that. You know what I'm saying? I told the kid just today, like, yo, you a good kid, and like on some mentor stuff, like you a good kid. Your dad wants you to box, and that's what's up. He a roster, that's what's up. I'm cool with it.
Right.
But like box and be you in it. Because I'm like, if you try to be anybody else, do what we talk about doing, it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a good kid that can just fight.
Right.
That's just what it is. Like, I mean, my family didn't raise me to be a monster. They raised me to be a good kid.
Right.
My environment dictates something different. So if you see me when I was younger fighting, you might think something different.
Speaking.
But that's not who I am. I'm
Right.
defending myself. You know what I'm saying? My environment dictates that. Like, I'm not gonna let you just push me over.
Right.
But it's not in a hostile form. It's just it's normalized where I'm from. So I'm gonna handle business.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to school. You know what I'm saying? So
Like Alex always tells me, he says, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is taking up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just be yourself.
it's all like you.
When you think about what it takes to be in the industry, at the end of the day, I was listening to you, and it sounds like the biggest word that comes out is sacrifice. So sometimes you just gotta sacrifice. 5 years ago, you and your family made a decision to pack up, sell your home, move back with your parents, and it was a family effort referred to as Team Force.
Yeah.
That's what it's
So we started off joking. Like it was a joke at first. So
joking first,
yeah.
then it got real.
yeah. Well, let kids let their grandparents. So,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was like my mom. So when my kids were young, we ain't never had our kids. When I say never, like my first son that was born, never had him. Like my mom, Monday through Sunday, she kept him from like, yo, she picked him up in the morning. She dropped him off in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. We like get him dressed, no bullshit, yo. We take him to my mother-in-law house at like 9. Yo, we ain't see my kid again until the next morning. So like,
Wow.
they like live with my grandma.
In my house, the big one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm saying my mom, but like, I mean, I'm from, so we say like one more stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my kids, they love my dad. So they'd be like, yeah, we want to stay with my mom and papa. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was pretty much like always getting ready to travel type deal. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he was getting ready to finish up with the Navy. So he was going to Washington State for like 3 years. So it was like, I mean, if he's going to Washington State for 3 years, you know what I'm saying? I'm rarely home anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why don't y'all two basically live together?
Right.
And like raise kiddos real quick while like, you know what I'm saying? He's in Washington State. and I'm pretty much boxing. And that's pretty much what we did.
Okay.
So
That's dope, man.
and the house is
Dope.
big enough, you know, well, it was and still is. So like we'd just be chilling. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So yeah,
That's dope.
we kind of made it work. But yeah, it was like, you know, 2 women raising kids made it easy. My dad flew in every couple of months when he could, and then I would come home on the weekends and, you know, pretty much stay in the hotel the rest of the time. So,
Yeah.
That's great.
Your life was about sacrifice, dedication, and all these things that really made you who you are now.
yeah.
Right? What's next?
Like legacy, man. Like it's leaving something for my family, then leaving something for another generation too.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to be a public success and a private failure. So
Right.
like you gotta try to balance the two.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? When you talking about like leaving a legacy, like it's cool to be on something and be like, you know what I'm saying? He did this and he stood for something. You get a building name after you,
Right.
something like that. But like when you touch like worldwide stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like it's cool to impact this community.
Mhm.
But to possibly have something, like I said, like the Boys and Girls Club, where we might team up with USA Boxing, try to get
Right.
different coaches, different places, like it's a community impact where you done touch generational, where it's like the legendary trickle down effect where I done made you a better kid, and like y'all done have kids now.
Right.
Y'all making all y'all kids stand on values now. So we talk about 500 kids that I say have infected. So them kids each got 2 kids. That's 1,000 people, right? You get what I'm saying? So we talk about quick multiplicity of positivity because of something that I've done. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm going with it. That's what I look for.
That's dope, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. That sounds like what you're saying is your legacy is more about who you impact, the lives you impact.
Well, success is heavily predicated, man, on the people around. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. I'm sure that we all know somebody that probably was successful and they ain't got the money for it. You know what I'm saying? That the impacted lives. Barbecue that just died for Heritage. You know what I'm saying? They called him the downtown mayor. You don't have to be rich to impact. So success, influence, all of that's heavily predicated, man, on the people around you. The money ain't made Pac legendary. It's his words.
There you go.
He spoke to Africa, China, like they all felt his words. That's why he was famous. So when people can relate and you change their lives, that's how you live on. That's that legendary trickle down effect.
Wow.
People that's never met Ali will tell you that they're better because of his story, his thing. He's the kind of guy that got off the bus, gave every kid $20, played basketball for an hour, and was late to the meeting.
Talking.
That impacted those kids' lives. Some of them kids might have boxed. I know one kid became a world champion. That Ali did that too. I can't remember who it was, but kid telling the story. That's how he became world champion. He was playing basketball. That's one of the times Ali hopped off the bus.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Leave it to where your great grandkids can say, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather did the interview with him, like my great grandson.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to help carry.
Dope.
We're getting close to our time. So before we end, we always want to play a little game. So we'll play a little game for you. Okay? It's going to be greatest of all time. We're talking overall package. All right?
Everything.
Overall
Legacy,
package,
everything.
Legacy, impact, everything. All right? So we're going to do greatest of all time. Tupac or Biggie? Woo.
Pop.
Wow.
Again, Biggie might be a lot of places. The thing is, again, like you find Tupac in Indochina, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see him on huts, like that's his impact is different. You know what I'm saying? He actually, bro, I mean, like y'all still play Dear Mom. You know what I'm saying? Like this song was impacting us to where Biggie was smooth. Where Pac, like for real, Mother's Day, you can put Dear Mom, like and you could really thank your mother because you could feel that song that's gonna drive you. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I say Pac, but Biggie was definitely.
Okay. Pernell Whitaker or Sugar Ray Leonard?
Ooh. I mean,
That's
I'm gonna go with Sweet Pea
okay. Really? Oh, Sugar Ray Leonard. Why?
because of this. Guys like Sugar Ray from DC.
Okay.
If it makes sense, guys like Sweet Pea beat a lot of guys that he wasn't supposed to beat, but he beat. So if you don't cheat Sweet Pea, where would he be? You know what I'm saying? There's always the synopsis of like even him fighting Oscar De La Hoya. It's different fights where you can always say like they played him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Goodness.
He never got the fair shake.
Right.
So when I look at somebody like him, it's like, what if they did like him? You know what I'm saying? What if they did like Bernard Hopkins would be how first came out? So it's like, they set that man up to fail, and he still was a world champion.
Wow.
You can't beat that. They never try to set Sugar Ray Leonard up for failure. You know what I'm saying? They try to set up Tommy. I mean, they try to set up Marvin Hagler for failure.
Yeah.
Those are great fighters to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why I like the Sam Langfords. You set a man up for failure, and he still beat all the world champs that nobody know about it, and he's still beating them. Like that's what I like.
That's you fight. That's you.
That's me. That's me.
That's you fighting for you know what I'm saying, for the bully. Okay. We're talking overall package. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr.
Ooh, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X?
Woo! Talk about it. I want to hear this. Malcolm X. Woo!
Martin Luther King said he might have led us into a brighter building.
Yes.
Okay.
Black economics died because of integration. That's a fact. I know for a fact that like the largest bus company in the country at that time was like in Charleston, which was a black bus company. All the blacks in the country at that time didn't want to ride black buses because they wanted a white bus driver. And then they wanted to sit on the back of the bus. So all the black buses, for instance, almost lost everything. Black economy died because we didn't want to go to those stores. As a matter of fact, if you go on my Facebook, I think one of my little favorites that you can click on is talking about how like when they integrated, we no longer shopped at black stores. We went to the white stores because that was the better, and it was better quality than that. But blacks lost their sense of pride. So a guy like Malcolm X, he didn't want to be at the same table as whites. He wanted his own table with me.
Yeah.
Where Martin Luther King, he wanted to eat at the same table as others.
Right.
And for me, you're gonna respect me more if I want my own table with my people.
Right.
And you have yours, and there's self-preservation. And we all eat off each other.
That's dope.
So for me, I'm more of self-preservation than, you know what I'm saying, trying to be like anyone else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna preserve my kind, my likeness with my people, whether it's black, white. If you're with me, you're not, you're not. So I want my table with my people where Martin Luther King wanted to be at the table with the people that didn't like him.
Wow.
See the Newport News? That's why they bang with me. Because I came in like, I don't need y'all don't need me. I could throw fights without y'all, and y'all could do stuff without me. But together, we could throw pro events, and we could do a whole lot more together than we could do, you know what I'm saying, not working together.
So that's a good segue into our last question. Here at 80 or 80,000, we want to build a brand, and we want to make sure that it's legendary. So Moses,
All right.
the last question.
Here we go. Question is, are you living for 80 years? Meaning that, are you just content for what is happening now? Or do you want to build a legacy, in your words, impacting youth, impacting community, self-love for the next 80,000 years?
Of course, 80,000. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm doing now is that legendary trickle-down effect. Again, like, my idea, hey, listen, all of these nonprofits that were started, Blue Cross Blue Shield, man, you talking about, St. Jude, all these are nonprofits where people got together, collective group, and they took off.
Right.
I'm working with the Boys and Girls Club now to try to partner with USA Boxing. I'm trying to diversify and make things a culture from what I know. You know what I'm saying? I use my tool to give back. You know what I'm saying? So boxing's my gift, it's my whatever you want to call it, but I use that to give back. So I think anything that's done the right way should pay its residual. So as long as I stay up on the path that I'm on right now, I definitely feel that I'm going to impact the latter future of kids. You know what I'm saying? Kids and adults. Because like I said, these kids don't grow up to be adults, and then they're going to have kids. So, you know, if what's instilled in me is instilled in some of these kids the right way, I definitely think that I can change the world.
Finish your statements. 80,000 years from now, somebody comes by and says, Jerry the Slugger was
resilient.
Goodness gracious.
Dope.
Truthful. Yeah.
But there you have it. 80 or 80,000.
Yes. Before we go, we want to give a shout out
Families in LA.
to the families of LA, everybody going through the suffering. We also want to give a shout out to the King family. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Martin Luther King Jr.
I love you. Just letting you know. I love you. So
This has been a great podcast. And man, we want to invite you back. So we know
I
want to invite you back because we could have talked forever.
We could have kept going. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this has been a great show, and we hope to see y'all soon.
Good night.